Okay, so 11.07. The first one. So first of all, if this one's going to be first and last time you did something, don't go there. All right, so we're just keeping it safe for the classroom, please. So we're talking about listing and how to discuss events in your life. My cat is going crazy around me. How to talk about events and when you've done them and stuff like that. This is weird. Sorry. Okay. I haven't been using the lights behind me. I don't know if you can even see them. Well, you can see one corner. I don't know. It's not very helpful. I was hoping it would give some depth, and it's not. Anyway, so 1107. So when clause. When. Remember, it's like the clock going around. So the points that we're trying to look at are repeating the information that the other person said. So you're going to ask them something, and then you're going to repeat it back when they answer you. So they say, you ask, right? So hamburger, first time, 2 or 3. God, when was the first time? When was the first time ate hamburger? So 1 is thinking about taking in what they said and repeating it right back. Oh, so you mean you did this, right? It's a good way of practicing to make sure that you're getting their information. So start looking at it as, how am I going to sign this back to them? Okay. And sometimes you can even just echoing as they're saying it. So, I think age 2, wow. And that really shows that you're engaged in the conversation. So hi, why are you snagging at me? No. Okay. So the second is summarizing info if you've gotten it from more than one person. So for example, if you're asking a group, and this is what we would do in class, I would say, okay, take one question, go around and ask everybody in class, and then give us sort of the stats, or ask 10 people and say, well, 4 people said this and 3 said that. Okay. Now notice what I did is I used the contrastive structure. That's what it is. I used contrastive structure to shift and show Grayson wants to be part of the show. Here, look, see, right there. You're right there. You are right there. You are right there. Yes. Hi. How are you? No, you don't have to shy away. Why do you always shy away from my face? Anyway, my wife does that. I didn't expect my cat to do the same thing. Anyway, okay. So how would you answer? How would you ask? So contrastive structure we've used for 1 person, 2 people. We've used it for 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to talk. The last line in here is horizontal listing, and we're going to use it where we set up what we're talking about in front of us. So first, second, third, fourth. You can use as many as you need to. Hello. Give me a high five. Can you give me a high five? Not a high face. Okay. And then the third line in there is spatial skills of tell to. So I told him, I told him, I told, I told. So first, second, third, fourth, you could do told. So it's just a little bit of practicing or watching videos to pick up when they're using that and then being able to mimic it. So here's the vocab. We've done listing on the hands, right? First time. So first time, last time, last time. Sometimes you'll see people do with an index finger. I've mostly seen people do last. Now, when we talk about last time, sometimes we mean the past time or recent time. Recent time. If someone goes to a restaurant or does something often, recent time, the most recent time, or last time. This, I think part of the confusion is this technically means final, right? You might do it again afterwards. You might, when was the last time you ate a hamburger? Well, technically we know it's the last time up to now, right? Done. It's not meaning the final time. You could cite it, especially if you're talking about what was the last time JFK flew on an airplane. Okay, so it can mean both definitions of last time. So first time, last time. We wouldn't do second or second time, second time. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. It's been a long day. Hi, buddy. Okay, I'm going to turn you back over here. Don't freak out. Just putting you out of frame so you don't claw at me. Okay. And then when. For this unit, we're going to be using when. This when of like what time, at what time, is a separate question in this context. When, give me a specific time. What time did you eat your hamburger for lunch? Lunch. My instinct is always to go lunch, breakfast, dinner. I've learned a lot of PSE first. Okay. So what are the answers to these questions? For example, and of course we end with the WH, right? You could say, the book does minutes with the index finger. I have learned, this is how I learn minutes and seconds. Both is the same. And I've seen both and used this for seconds as well. So it really depends on the area and the people you're talking to. I find minutes are slower than seconds. That's the best I can suggest. If someone gives you a correction, take it, roll with it. Everybody's got their preference. And being hearing, I will always be wrong. So 5 minutes passed, right? 5 minutes ago. Oh, recent 5 minutes, right? So that's the first one of the unspecified. Oh, recent, just a little bit ago. It's at this. I like this sign because it's a tiny version of this, right? So it's past and tiny past, big past, tiny past, really big past. I could put in here the rule of 9 because this is a perfect place for these to go in. Is how many minutes? If it's under 10, if it's 1 to 9, you just put in that, put the number as the handshake. So years. And you can substitute anything for drank whatever. Um, if you know people in the program, they can tell you exactly how long it's been since they had their last drink. So that's a good answer. And if if there's someone in your family you can talk about um, those issues, this is a good practice for how would you sign that. Um, and it could be my wife. It's been 10 years. Meat. So you can be very specific. Pick up whatever topic you can think of. A good way, pick one person, especially if it's someone you talk to on a daily basis, if you Skype with them or whatever. Um, think of something that applies to them. When was the last time you went to see a movie? Now with the pandemic, those are good references. People figure out how many months, how many. If you know the answer beforehand, you know what to look for. So context clues from your own mind. So recently, long time ago, this means past. If you do it backwards, long time ago, or you can do double-handed. Anytime there's like wiggling fingers, it's a repetition of the sign. It's like long time ago. But it's all that same feel of way back. You can do with future, but when was the last time? 4 months. 4 months in the future. What kind of answer is that? I'm a time traveler. Ta-da. And the last one, but never. It's carving like a 7. Never. There's an older version of that sign, which is it's like zoom, zoom, zoom. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Ella May Lentz, if you've she's a storyteller. If you look up a poem called To a Hearing Mother, she's just a gorgeous signer, dear sweet woman. If you look at old ASL books, she's in almost every one of their video, like in their video sets, because she's just her signing is so clear, and you will look at her signs and go, I want to do it like that. Okay, so, but I remember in one story she signed like never, but now it's just never, boom, boom, shoo, shoo, never. Um, Almost like people sign it differently with different emphasis. You notice it's like a signature. Uh, okay, so this is what we do. I put this up and say, here in practice. Um, Looking at the response, tell when was the last time, and give some other information. And the reason why we have the other WH questions is because it's a good way of practicing a rhetorical question as you're going to respond. So if I ask, 2 weeks in the past, 2 weeks ago, okay, I went where. I did the follow up question for them, right? Because if I could have said, "Oh, 2 weeks ago," boring, not a good conversationalist. Other person goes, "Where were you?" Right? So start thinking about what the next question will be and provide it, and ask it yourself. So Okay. So ice cream, vanilla with mint, and I poured it over. Okay. So that rhetorical question is a new WH question that you answer yourself. So you're asking, what did I have? I had this. Why did I need it? Because I wanted it, and I'm an adult and I can eat my ice cream whenever I want. Right. So this is a good way of practicing those rhetorical questions. We see them all the time in ASL where someone will go, "Oh, went to the store, bought what? Ice cream." Okay. Uh, you will see it. They go by quickly. It's a new question. Here's an answer. New question. Here's an answer that I answered myself. And then this is what I would recommend that you do if you're having conversation with someone else from class, or if you are having a chat with one of the tutors. That if you ask someone a question, take their answer, then relay that information to the other person you're talking to. And using that agreement, right? Because I'm constantly referencing that person. Cool. And we could chain this out asking the same questions, basically doing a survey. So here's a video. He asks her a question and then asks the next person, passes on what he got. Okay. It's always tough when I hand it out to the class because invariably someone asks, so when thinking they're very clever and that's never been asked before. So anyway, how old? So that's another one. How old was I? 12. Right. When I first read So instead of asking when, how old? Old age were you? What age were you? Okay. You could ask, which year? Or I would say which year rather than year which. A little bit, it's more clear when we ask questions. I see you're back. My nemesis in gray. Okay. So now the practice is to come up with questions yourself to ask. This might be a chaotic assignment to try to put on Go React. Uh, be, let me look at how this last assignment is going and make sure all the cross purposes are going well. But anticipate I may put a homework on where you ask a question and other people answer it. So start to think of something you want to know. First time or the last time. Think of one for each. I'll make it tough. First time someone did something, please keep it safe for work. And then the last time someone did something, again, please keep it safe for work. And I might ask for a summation after people have given it where you can say, oh, 3 people, first person said this, second person said this, third person said this, fourth person said this. But that seems like it's getting a little too far afield. So I think right now, I just want to ask the question and get the responses. And then you can start talking about that. And you're recounting the whole question. So, I asked how many people. I asked what. Tell the question, and then they told me, right? Told me what? Boop, 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 4 groups. So that's what we would play around with this. It's hard to do this in this situation with just the video. So I'm not going to have you do that, but start thinking about how one group of people said this, group of people said this, one group said this, and one group said this. Okay. Ooh, easy. That's why you cannot knock over things. You have strong tail. Okay. And again, we come back. This was a quick little hit and run of a chapter where we're talking about horizontal listing, asking time questions, and then how do we respond. And there's a couple more videos in here. But there really isn't that much in the way of videos. I'm going to add a couple more that are in the textbook. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the vocab, really. There's a couple examples of relaying information and then the vocab, which again is only 3. So 1107 was a really tight chapter.